Hello, Irish fans. I'm Jack Nolan here at Purcell Pavilion. He's Notre Dame assistant Anthony Solomon. The Irish busy getting ready for a Saturday night game with Rutgers. Notre Dame is 14-3, 2-2 in the Big East. They're ranked 20th in both polls, and they're getting really solid play from point guard Eric Atkins, who is second in the Big East in assist-to-turnover ratio and is making 51% of his shots. Rutgers is off to a very good start as well at 12-4, 3-2 in the Big East after beating South Florida Thursday night. The Scarlet Knights are led by sophomore guard Eli Carter, who is one of the Big East leading scorer at 15.9 points per game. So what kind of a challenge, Anthony, does this Scarlet Knights team pose for you on Saturday?
Well, Jack, first I'd like to say is that, this is going to be a very competitive basketball game. Rutgers is a team right now that's really feeling and playing with a lot of confidence. They had a great win last night at home versus South Florida. It was a great basketball game. It was back and forth, and they pulled it out with a three-point victory. I think even more important is that the way they won the game. It was a back-and-forth game, and I think Coach Rice said it best in terms of just it was monumental in terms of how the program is taking steps. They had one of the youngest teams in the country last year. Now that the core group from last season is back, they're sophomores predominantly, along with the addition of the big fella in the middle, Wally Judge. So right now we're going to have to really come out tomorrow and play a very good game on both sides of the floor and be more consistent than we have over the last 8 days.
Now, before every game, the coaching staff provides the team with a scouting report. Included in that are keys to the game. So let's start with your defensive keys against Rutgers.
Yes, Jack. We like to start each game with talking about our defensive keys. The first key is our transition keys. On the defensive side of the ball, we have to do a great job versus Rutgers in terms of sprinting back in transition. And while sprinting back, we must have great communication, which will help us get matched up. Because in transition, Rutgers is one of the fastest teams in the Big East in terms of attacking in transition, and they have lots of threats. They have threats that can shoot the three in transition. They have guards that are quick at penetrating in transition, as well as their big guys are capable of running the floor and getting easy buckets before the defense gets set. Secondly, at the half-court level, we phrased it going into this game as half-court defense being important, and we have to do it as 5 men. Rutgers presents a lot of problems. Each of their players has different skill abilities, but they're doing it at a very high clip right now. And last night, and they've talked about this a lot, they played 8 players, and each of them scored 4 or more points. So we're going to have to defend as 5, and certainly you have to guard your man, but you also have to assist your teammate as well. So it's going to take a great team effort. And lastly, it's going to be rebounding the basketball, and we have to get the first miss. It's extremely important that we are capable of getting the first miss, which allows us to get on the offensive side of the floor.
Now, Notre Dame remains the leading shooting team in the Big East, both inside and outside the arc, but in this current 2-game losing streak, you haven't been as efficient as you would like to be. So what are your offensive keys for this Rutgers game?
Well, first, Jack, I think and it's something we've emphasized over the last 3 days at a higher clip in terms of being able to execute more consistently and efficiently at doing it as 5 in terms of ball reversals is very important. Certainly we have individuals that are capable of breaking down the defense. We have individuals that are great at using ball screens. But sometimes as we continue to learn about our group early in this Big East season, we're finding out those ball reversals is something that's been good to us for a lot of years in Big East play. So we've emphasized being able to reverse that ball more on a consistent basis. And then everyone has to be a great receiver for one another, because teams will play physical on the perimeter as well as in the post. Therefore, everyone has to be a receiver, and when we catch it, we got to face up. We have to be strong with it. And as we do this in terms of our efficiency level, helps with our consistency throughout the basketball game so that we don't have those lulls. And that's something that you learn throughout the basketball season, and I think our young men will respond to the challenge that they have before them versus Rutgers tonight.
So, Irish fans, you can feel like one of the players on the Irish basketball team, because this is basically very similar to the scouting report that the team will receive before they take the floor to take on Rutgers on Saturday night. Anthony, thank you for the time.
Thank you, Jack.
Game time is 8 o'clock. As always, you can listen to it right here on UND.com. With Anthony Solomon, I'm Jack Nolan, UND.com.